Diphtheria is an acute bacterial illness caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae, especially strains that produce toxin. Now, this toxin can act locally in the throat and the mucous membranes, causing a pseudomembrane, a build-up of tissue, which can actually block breathing and lead to suffocation. The toxin can also go to the heart and the brain. In the early 1900s, diphtheria was the commonest cause of death in children. But since the Second World War, we've had effective vaccines, and the incidence of both disease and death have fallen remarkably. Indeed, in 2011, it was a shock to see one young Australian woman who was unimmunised develop disease after contact with a traveller from overseas and die from diphtheria. As with tetanus, most people have 5 doses of diphtheria vaccination as part of a combination vaccine by the time they leave school. 3 in the first 6 months of life, 1 at 4 years and 1 at 15 to 17 years. And then, around the age of 50, it's wise to have a further booster. Now, if you're in contact with someone who has diphtheria, then it's important to get a booster as quickly as possible. And if you're suspected of being a case, you should consult your doctor urgently, because you will need treatment not only with antibiotics, but with antibodies specifically against the diphtheria germ. In 1901, the first ever Nobel Prize awarded was to Emil von Behring, who developed in horses antibodies against diphtheria. Now, this antibody treatment is still used today for anyone who is a suspected case of diphtheria. There are actually 2 types of immunisation. One is called passive and one active. The passive one involves creating antibodies against a nasty germ in loads of other humans or in animals, and diphtheria is a good example of that. The antibodies that we have developed in horses for the treatment of diphtheria in humans have been used for over a century. Far better, however, to have active immunisation so that you never develop the symptoms or the disease of diphtheria because you've been actively immunised with the vaccine.